In a world of shifting dynamics, every decision feels like it could either change everything or leave everything untouched. Are you ready to face the consequences? The world is full of targets, but sometimes the biggest target is the one we put on ourselves when we stop listening to our inner voice. Every day, the news brings a new challenge, a new enemy, a new target. But maybe the real target is understanding ourselves amidst the chaos. The power of now is in how we react to the world's uncertainties. How will you react to being a target in the story of today? We live in a world where labels are assigned faster than facts. Will you allow yourself to be caught up in the whirlwind of today's headlines? In a world full of targets, it's not about dodging the bullet, but knowing which battles are worth fighting. Sometimes, feeling like the target is the first step toward realizing you're the one who has the power to choose your response. How do we navigate in a world where current affairs shape our perceptions and feelings? Maybe the true target lies within us. Each headline shifts the landscape of our emotions. The question is, how do we stay grounded when we're constantly told we're a target? In an era of social media storms and constant noise, it's easy to feel like a target, but it's how you handle it that defines you. The true target isn't what's happening in the world, but how we internalize it and let it shape our next move. Amid the chaos of world affairs, one thing remains constant: our feelings. Are we letting them guide us, or are we letting them be manipulated? Being a target isn't about being in danger. It's about understanding the influence of what's happening around you and within you. In the age of information, we're all targets of opinions, media, and perspectives. It's up to us how we respond. The stories of today create the realities of tomorrow, and sometimes being the target is the catalyst for the most profound growth. It's not about being the target in someone else's story. It's about writing your own. How many times do we react out of fear, not because we're targets, but because we don't understand the world around us? Current affairs don't just affect the world, they affect our hearts, our minds, and our deepest fears. How we respond is the real battleground. Being a target doesn't always mean you're under attack. It could simply mean you're the one being seen, heard, and challenged. When we're constantly caught in the web of current events, it's easy to feel like prey. But remember, perception is reality. Every day, the world gives us reasons to feel like a target. But remember, sometimes the greatest power is in simply choosing not to engage. What if the real challenge is not the events unfolding around us, but how we react to them with our hearts open and unguarded? We're all living through a time where feelings are amplified. Are you letting the chaos of the world define your emotions? In a world where everything feels like a target, the most important thing is to keep your sense of self intact. Being caught in the crossfire of current events isn't the same as being a target. It's an opportunity to see where your values truly lie. Sometimes the feeling of being a target isn't about the attack. It's about the weight of expectations the world places on us. Am I your target? Or are you simply projecting your own fears onto me? We must reflect before we react. In a constantly changing world, it's easy to feel like a target, but true strength lies in standing firm against the tides of chaos. How often do we let external targets shape our inner peace? What if we focused on centering ourselves, no matter the storm around us? In a world where news headlines dictate our moods, being a target doesn't mean defeat. It means you're still in the game. Are you really a target, or just another reflection of the world's fears and insecurities? The power is in recognizing the difference. Each time we feel like a target, we're actually being given the chance to redefine ourselves in the face of adversity. Current events are like waves. Sometimes they crash hard, but how we respond can either keep us afloat or pull us under. The world will always have targets. What matters is how we choose to navigate through it, one feeling at a time. In a world of shifting narratives and constant change, how do we remain true to ourselves and not become targets of others' stories? Every day feels like a new battle in the media, but sometimes the real fight is within us, deciding how we let it affect our hearts. Feeling like a target isn't a weakness, it's a reminder that your emotions, your thoughts, and your perspective are being challenged. Sometimes the biggest target you'll ever face is your own reflection. Are you ready to confront what you see in the mirror? In times of conflict and uncertainty, being a target can feel like a heavy burden, but perhaps it's simply a lesson in resilience. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of being a target in this chaotic world. But remember, peace often comes from within. Every headline is a new story, but how much of that story is truly about you? The key is learning how to disconnect from the noise. The media paints us as targets, but maybe the real truth is that we have the power to choose which battles to fight. Being a target doesn't mean you're the victim. It means you're strong enough to be seen and heard in a world that thrives on distraction. What if being a target is just the world's way of asking, who are you really? It's up to us to answer with clarity. It's not always the event that makes us feel like a target. It's the emotional weight we attach to it. Current events might dictate our reactions, but our feelings give us the power to rise above and transform the narrative. The feeling of being targeted is real, but it doesn't define you unless you let it. Strength comes from choice, not circumstance. The world will always try to make you feel like a target, but the real victory lies in recognizing you're the one in control. If current affairs can make us feel like targets, let's use that energy to fuel our growth and reshape the world around us. We are all targets in some way of the world's expectations, the news cycles, the opinions of others, but we get to decide how we react. Being targeted by external forces is a reflection of your impact, not your weakness. Don't shrink away from the spotlight. We all feel like targets at times, but it's the way we handle the challenges that defines us, not the challenges themselves. In today's world, it's hard not to feel like a target, but it's our emotions that give us the resilience to push forward. There's a quiet power in being the target. It means you're still relevant, still seen, still capable of affecting change. The true weight of being a target lies not in the attack, but in how we choose to hold ourselves when we're under fire. We are all targets in the grand scheme of things, but it's in how we react, how we feel, and how we stand up that truly matters. Being a target in today's world doesn't mean you're losing. It's an opportunity to redefine the narrative and make your mark. Every feeling of being targeted is a chance to ask yourself, am I letting this define me, or am I defining this moment? The world around us will always try to make us feel like targets, but true power comes from standing strong, no matter the pressure. What if being the target isn't a weakness, but an invitation to take action, to redefine who you are in the face of adversity? Being the target isn't about being vulnerable. It's about showing up in your truth, even when the world tries to tear it down. The world may try to label you as a target, but your true strength lies in how you choose to evolve in the face of it. The moment you feel like a target is the moment you realize your voice, your actions, and your presence are too powerful to ignore. Being targeted isn't a punishment, it's a challenge, an opportunity to rise, and a test of how far you're willing to go. Targets don't break. Targets stand tall, redefine the narrative, and come out stronger on the other side. When you feel like the world has placed a target on your back, remember, it's not the enemy's arrow that defines you, but your response. Feeling like a target means you're in the arena. It's not about winning the fight, it's about showing up with your authentic self. Targets aren't always about being under attack. Sometimes they're about being in the spotlight, forcing you to confront your truth. Being a target means you're relevant. You're shaking the status quo, and that's something to be proud of. The weight of being a target is never as heavy as the power you gain from choosing not to be defeated by it. Targets are for those who dare to make a difference. The world tries to challenge you, but you're here to conquer it with grace. Each time you feel like a target, take it as a sign that you're on the right path. You're being noticed, and you're making an impact. Feeling like a target doesn't mean you're vulnerable. It means you're seen, heard, and worthy of attention. You are not defined by the world's attempts to target you. You are defined by how you choose to respond and rise above it. When you become the target, you're also the one who controls how far your strength and resilience can take you. The world may paint you as a target, but it's your own brush that colors how the story unfolds. To feel like a target is to understand your influence. It's your opportunity to embrace the spotlight and own it.